Judges 9. And Abimelech the son of Jerubbaal went to Shechem to his mother's brothers, and spoke to them and to all the generation of his mother's father's house, saying, Speak, I pray you, in the ears of all the citizens of Shechem, which is better for you, that 70 men, all the sons of Jerubbaal, rule over you, or that one man rule over you. Remember also that I am your bone and your flesh. Then his mother's brothers spoke about him in the hearing of all the citizens of Shechem all those words, and their heart inclined to follow Abimelech, because they said, He is our brother. And they gave him 70 pieces of silver, from the house of Baal-berite, and with them Abimelech hired idle and frivolous men, who followed him. And he came to his father's house, to Ophrah, and slew his brothers, the sons of Jerubbaal, 70 men, on one stone. But Jotham, Jerubbaal's youngest son, stayed, because he had hidden himself. Then all the citizens of Shechem, and all the house of Millo, gathered together, and they went and made Abimelech king by the tall oak that is near Shechem. And when he had told Jotham, he went and stood on the top of Mount Gerizim, and lifted up his voice, and cried, and said unto them, Hearken unto me, ye men of Shechem, and God will hear you. Once upon a time the trees went to anoint themselves a king, and they said to the olive tree, You reign over us. But the olive tree said to them, Shall I leave my fatness, which God and men cherish in me, and go to hover over the trees? Then the trees said to the fig tree, You come and reign over us. But the fig tree said to them, Should I leave my sweetness, my good fruit, and go hover over the trees? Then the tree said to the vine, You come and reign over us. But the vine said to them, Shall I leave my new wine, which gladdens God and man, and go hang over the trees? Then all the trees said to the thorn tree, You come and reign over us. And the thorn said to the trees, If indeed you anoint me king over you, come and put your trust under my shade, but if not, let fire come out of the thorn bush and consume the cedars of Lebanon. Now therefore, if indeed you have acted in truth and sincerity in making Abimelech king, and if you have done good to Jerubbaal and to his house, and if you have dealt with him according to the worthiness of his hands. For my father fought for you, and despised his life, and delivered you out of the hand of Midian. But ye have risen up this day against my father's house, and slain his sons, 70 men, upon one stone, and Abimelech, the son of his handmaid, you made king over the citizens of Shechem, because he is your brother. For if in truth and sincerity you have used Jerubbaal and his house this day, rejoice with Abimelech, and he also may rejoice with you. But if not, let fire come out of Abimelech, and consume the citizens of Shechem, and the house of Millo, and let fire come out from the citizens of Shechem, and from the house of Millo, and consume Abimelech. So Jotham departed, and fled, and went to Beer, and there he dwelt for fear of Abimelech his brother. So when Abimelech had ruled over Israel 3 years, God sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the citizens of Shechem, and these acted treacherously against Abimelech. So that the violence done to the 70 sons of Jerubbaal might come, and their blood might fall on Abimelech his brother, who killed them, and on the citizens of Shechem, who strengthened his hands to slay their brothers. And the citizens of Shechem set against him one who set an ambush for him on the tops of the mountains, and everyone who passed along the way with them they attacked him, and it was told to Abimelech. And Gaal the son of Ebed came with his brothers, and they passed over to Shechem, and the citizens of Shechem trusted him. And they went out into the field, and gathered their vines, and trodden down the grapes, and feasted, and they went to the house of their God, and ate, and drank, and cursed Abimelech. And Gaal the son of Ebed said, Who is Abimelech, and who is Shechem, that we should serve him? Is he not the son of Jerubbaal? And isn't Zebul his butler? I served before the men of Hamor, Shechem's father, for why should we serve him? Oh! If this people had been in my hand, I would drive out Abimelech. And he would say to Abimelech, Multiply your army, and go out. And when Zebul, the ruler of the city, heard the words of Gaal, son of Ebed, his anger was kindled. And he sent messengers cunningly to Abimelech, saying, Behold, Gaal the son of Ebed and his brethren are come to Shechem, and, behold, they are raising up this city against thee. So get up by night, you and the people who are with you, and set ambushes in the field. And he rises up in the morning when the sun rises, and strikes the city, And, behold, when he and the people that are with him come out against thee, do unto them as thou canst. So Abimelech and all the people who were with him rose up during the night, and they laid an ambush for Shechem with 4 troops. And Gaal the son of Ebed went out, and stood at the entrance of the city gate, and Abimelech, and all the people that were with him, rose from the ambush. And when Gaal saw the people, he said to Zebul, Behold, people come down from the tops of the mountains. Zebul, on the contrary, said to him, You see the shadows of the mountains as if they were men. But Gaal still spoke again, and said, Behold, people come down from the midst of the earth, and a troop comes from the way of the oak of Meonenim. Then Zebul said to him, Where is your mouth now, with which you said, Who is Abimelech, that we should serve him? Is this not the people you have despised? Go out therefore, I pray thee, and fight against him. And Gaal went out in the sight of the citizens of Shechem, and fought against Abimelech. And Abimelech pursued him, because he fled from before him, and many wounded fell to the entrance of the city gate. And Abimelech stayed in Arumah. And Zebul drove out Gaal and his brothers, so that they could not dwell in Shechem. And it came to pass the next day, that the people went out into the field, of this Abimelech was warned. Then he took the people, and divided them into 3 troops, and set ambushes in the field, and he looked, and, behold, the people were coming out of the city, and they rose up against him, and smote him. For Abimelech, and the troops that were with him, broke through suddenly, and stood at the entrance of the city gate, and the other 2 troops suddenly fell upon all who were in the field, and smote them. And Abimelech fought against the city all that day, and he took the city, and slew the people that were therein, and he laid waste the city, and sowed it with salt. What hearing all the citizens of the tower of Shechem, they entered the fortress, in the house of the god Berite. And it was told to Abimelech that all the citizens of the tower of Shechem had gathered together. So Abimelech went up to Mount Salmon, he and all the people that were with him, and Abimelech took an axe in his hand, and cut off a branch of the tree, and lifted it up, and laid it on his shoulder, and said to the people that were with him, What ye have seen me do, hasten to do it. Like me. So therefore, every one of all the people also cut off his branch and followed Abimelech, and putting the branches near the fortress, they burned it with fire, with those who were in it, so that all those in the tower of Shechem died, about 1,000 men and women. So Abimelech went to Thebez and besieged it and took it. But there was a strong tower in the middle of the city, and all the men and women, and all the citizens of the city, took refuge in it, and shut the gates behind them, and went up to the roof of the tower. And Abimelech came to the tower, and fought with it, and he went to the door of the tower to set it on fire. But a woman threw a piece of a millstone on Abimelech's head, and she broke his skull. So she immediately called the young man, who was carrying his weapons, and said to him, Draw your sword, and kill me, lest it be said of me, A woman killed him. And the lad pierced him and he died. So when the men of Israel saw that Abimelech was dead, they went each to his place. So God turned on Abimelech the evil that he had done to his father, in killing his 70 brothers. As also all the evil of the men of Shechem brought back upon their heads, and the curse of Jotham the son of Jerubbaal came upon them. Judges 10. And after Abimelech, Tola, the son of Puah, the son of Dodo, a man of Issachar, rose up to deliver Israel, and dwelt in Shamir, in the mountain of Ephraim. And he judged Israel 23 years, and he died, and was buried in Shamir. And after him rose up Jair the Gileadite, and judged Israel 22 years. And he had 30 sons, who rode on 30 donkeys, and they had 30 cities, which they called Havot Jair, to this day, which are in the land of Gilead. And Jair died, and was buried in Common. Then again the children of Israel did what was evil in the sight of the Lord, and served Baals, and Ashtoreth, and the gods of Syria, and the gods of Sidon, and the gods of Moab, and the gods of the children of Ammon, and to the gods of the Philistines, and forsook the Lord, and did not serve him. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he sold them into the hand of the Philistines, and into the hand of the children of Ammon. In that same year they oppressed and vexed the children of Israel. 18 years they oppressed all the children of Israel who were beyond the Jordan in the land of the Amorites, which is in Gilead. Even the children of Ammon passed over Jordan to fight also against Judah, and against Benjamin, and against the house of Ephraim, so that Israel was greatly distressed. Then the children of Israel cried out to the Lord, saying, We have sinned against thee, in that we have forsaken our God, and served the Baals. But the Lord said to the children of Israel, Perhaps of the Egyptians, and of the Amorites, and of the children of Ammon, and of the Philistines, and from the Sidonians, and from the Amalekites, and from the Maonites, who oppressed you, when you cried to me, did I not deliver you out of their hand? Yet you forsook me, and served other gods, therefore I will deliver you no more. Go and cry out to the gods you have chosen, may they deliver you in the time of your distress. But the children of Israel said to the Lord, We have sinned, make us according to whatever seems good in your eyes, we only beg you to deliver us this time. And they put away the foreign gods from among them, and served the Lord. Then his soul was distressed because of the calamity of Israel. And the children of Ammon gathered together and encamped in Gilead, and the people of Israel were gathered together, and encamped in Mizpah. Then the people and the princes of Gilead said one to another, Who shall be the man that shall begin to fight against the children of Ammon? He will be at the head of all the inhabitants of Gilead. Judges 11. It was then Jephthah the Gileadite, a man of valor, but the son of a harlot, but Gilead begot Jephthah. Also the woman of Gilead bore him children, and when the children of this woman were grown up, they drove out Jephthah, and said to him, Thou shalt not inherit in our father's house, for thou art the son of another woman. Then Jephthah fled from his brothers, and dwelt in the land of Tob, and light men joined Jephthah, and went out with him. And it came to pass, after a while, that the children of Ammon fought against Israel. And it came to pass, as the children of Ammon fought against Israel, that the elders of Gilead went to seek Jephthah in the land of Tob. And they said to Jephthah, Come and be our leader, that we may fight against the children of Ammon. But Jephthah said to the elders of Gilead, Did you not hate me and drive me away from my father's house? Why then do you come to me now when you are in trouble? And the elders of Gilead said to Jephthah, Therefore we have returned to you, that you may come with us, and fight against the children of Ammon, and make us chief over all the inhabitants of Gilead. Then Jephthah said to the elders of Gilead, If you take me back to fight against the children of Ammon, and the Lord gives them to me before me, then shall I be your leader? And the elders of Gilead said to Jephthah, The Lord will be witness between us, and we will do it according to your word. So Jephthah went with the elders of Gilead, and the people made him chief and prince over them, and Jephthah spoke all his words before the Lord at Mizpah. And Jephthah sent messengers to the king of the children of Ammon, saying, What is between me and thee, that thou hast come to me to fight against my land? And the king of the children of Ammon said to the messengers of Jephthah, It is because, when Israel came out of Egypt, they took my land, from Arnon to Jabbok, and even to Jordan. Give it back to me now, in peace. But Jephthah still went on to send messengers to the king of the Ammonites, saying unto him, Thus saith Jephthah, Israel hath not taken, neither the land of Moab, nor the land of the children of Ammon. For when Israel went up from Egypt, he walked through the desert to the Red Sea, and came to Kadesh. And Israel sent messengers to the king of Edomites, saying, I beg you, let me pass through your land. But the king of Edomites did not listen to him. He also sent to the king of the Moabites, who likewise would not consent, and so Israel stayed in Kadesh. Then he went through the wilderness and went around the land of Edomites and the land of Moabites, and came from the rising of the sun to the land of Moabites, and lodged beyond the Arnon. But he did not enter the border of the Moabites, because Arnon is the border of the Moabites. But Israel sent messengers to Sihon king of the Amorites, king of Heshbon, and Israel said to him, Please let us pass through your land to my place. But Sihon did not trust Israel to pass his borders. Before Sihon gathered all his people together, and they encamped in Jasha, and fought against Israel. And the Lord God of Israel gave Sihon, and all his people, into the hand of Israel, who smote them, and Israel took as an inheritance all the land of the Amorites who dwelt in that region. And they took for an inheritance all the borders of the Amorites, from Arnon to Jabbok, and from the desert to Jordan. So the Lord God of Israel drove out the Amorites from before his people Israel, and would you own them? Would you not possess what Chemosh your God dispossessed from before you? So shall we possess, as many as the Lord our God dispossesses from before us. Now, are you even better than Balak, son of Zippor, king of Moab? Did he at any time contend with Israel, or did he ever fight against them? While Israel dwelt 300 years in Heshbon and its villages, and in Aroer and its villages, and in all the cities that are along the Arnon, why did you not recover it at that time? Nor have I sinned against you. But thou hast wronged me in fighting against me. May the Lord, who is judge today between the children of Israel and between the children of Ammon. But the king of the Ammonites did not listen to the words that Jephthah sent him. Then the Spirit of the Lord came upon Jephthah, and he passed through Gilead and Manasseh, passing through Mizpah Gilead, and from Mizpah Gilead he passed to the children of Ammon. And Jephthah made a vow to the Lord, and said, If thou wilt fully give the children of Ammon into my hand, whatever comes to meet me when I come out of the door of my house when I return from the children of Ammon in peace, that shall be the Lord's, and I will offer it up as a burnt offering. So Jephthah went over to the Ammonites to fight against them, and the Lord delivered them into his hand. And he smote them with great slaughter, from Aroer to Minnith, 20 cities, and as far as Abel Cheramim, so were the children of Ammon subdued before the children of Israel. When Jephthah came to Mizpah to his house, behold, his daughter met him with timbrels and with dancing. And she was the only daughter, he had no other son or daughter. And it came to pass, when he saw her, that he rent his clothes, and said, Ah, my daughter, you have brought me down a lot, and you are among those who disturb me. Because I opened my mouth to the Lord, and I will not turn back. And she said to him, My father, you gave the word to the Lord, do with me as you promised, for the Lord has avenged you of your enemies, the children of Ammon. He said more to his father, Grant me this, let me go for 2 months, and go down the mountains, and mourn my virginity, I and my companions. And he said, Go. And he let her go for 2 months, so she went with her companions, and wept for her virginity on the mountains. And it came to pass, at the end of 2 months, that she returned to her father, who fulfilled his vow which he had sworn to her, and she knew no man, and hence came the custom of Israel, that the daughters of Israel went from year to year to mourn for 4 days the daughter of Jephthah the Gileadite. Judges 12. Then the men of Ephraim were summoned, and they passed to the north, and said to Jephthah, Why did you go to fight against the children of Ammon, and did not call us to go with you? We will burn your house down with you. And Jephthah said unto them, I and my people had a great quarrel with the children of Ammon, and I called you, and you did not deliver me out of his hand. And when I saw that you were not delivered, I risked my life, and passed over against the children of Ammon, and the Lord delivered them into their hands. Why then have you gone up today to fight against me? And Jephthah gathered together all the men of Gilead, and fought against Ephraim, and the men of Gilead smote Ephraim, for he had said to him, You are fugitives from Ephraim, you Gileadites who dwell between Ephraim and Manasseh. For the Gileadites took the fords of Jordan from the Ephraimites, and it came to pass, when one of the fugitives of Ephraim said, Let me pass, then the Gileadites asked, Are you an Ephraimite? And he saying, No. Then they said to him, Say, then, Chibalit. But he said, Sibalit, because he couldn't pronounce it well. Then they took him, and slew him at the fords of Jordan, and there fell of Ephraim at that time 42,000. And Jephthah judged Israel 6 years, and Jephthah the Gileadite died, and was buried in one of the cities of Gilead. And after him Ibzan of Bethlehem judged Israel. And he had 30 sons, and 30 daughters whom he had married out, and 30 daughters he brought from abroad to his sons, and he judged Israel 7 years. Then Ibzan died, and was buried in Bethlehem. And after him judged Israel Elon the Zebulunite, and he judged Israel 10 years. And Elon the Zebulunite died, and was buried in Aijalon in the land of Zebulun. And after him judged Israel Abdon the son of Hillel the Pirathonite. And he had 40 sons, and 30 grandsons, who rode on 70 donkeys, and he judged Israel 8 years. Then Abdon the son of Hillel the Pirathonite died, and he was buried in Pirathon, in the land of Ephraim, in the mount of the Amalekites. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel, leave your like and make a comment.